Hello, good morning, friends. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about scheme of the Indian Evidence Act and the Lex Puri. So actually, it is difficult to remember scheme of the Evidence Act. Why? Because the Indian Evidence Act, it is divided into three parts along with 167 sections, and these 167 sections divided into 11 chapters. Means in the context of student it is difficult to remember all these sections, parts. So here we are going to discuss how to remember all these parts, all these chapters along with the sections in simple way. So today we are going to discuss about scheme of the Indian Evidence Act and the Lex Puri. So first and foremost, what to do? So friend, there is one person. That person brings the fact before the court. Okay, this is the person, and he brings the fact before the court. And after that, there is responsibility of the person. Okay, that person's responsibility means burden of proof on the person. Means here to prove the facts, whatever he has brought the fact before the court, he should have to prove. How to prove all these facts? Through the oral documents, or here oral documents or documentary evidences. Means ultimately this responsibility on the parties, on the witnesses. And after that, court may conduct the examination of witness. And in that examination of witness, the witness should not be talk lie. Means he shall be firm on the earlier statement, previous statement. Means whatever that truth, genuine fact, he should have to produce before the court, prove before the court. Either the application or the petition shall be rejected. Means improper admission and rejection of evidences. This is the last chapter under Indian Evidence Act. Means this is the simple scheme. Generally, everyone is known. To bring the fact before the court, then there is a responsibility of the parties to prove. How to prove? Oral or by documentary. Means there is a burden of proof upon the witnesses. Then after court may conduct the examination of witness. In this examination of witness, the parties or witnesses should be firm on the earlier statement or assertion. Either that application or petition shall be rejected. Then, human body has three parts generally I have considered here. There are three parts. Means above the neck part means our head. Neck part, our head. Then neck to the vast part is the second, means our chest and body, chest, body or stomach. It's considered the second part. Then third, leg parts. Means three parts. Means friend, I have divided here Indian Evidence Act into three parts. Already Indian Evidence Act has three parts. Part first, part second, part three. So here I have divided our body into three parts. Our head, then belly part, then below the waist part, meet our legs. So here you can see part first, part second and part three. Okay, these are the three parts of the Indian Evidence Act. And next, the total 167 sections are provided under Indian Evidence Act with 11 chapters. With 11 chapters. Okay? How to remember all these chapters? First, we have two eyes, right eye and left eye. So here, right eye shows that chapter 1, left eye shows that chapter 2. Means chapter first shows the preliminary chapter. Chapter first is the preliminary chapter, and it deals with under section 1 to 4. It is not difficult. Preliminary ground, preliminary chapter. Okay, initial stage. At the initial stage, 4 sections. Then, chapter second. Chapter second talks about relevancy of fact. Relevancy of fact, and it deals with relevancy of fact. It deals with section 5 to 55. Means chapter second shows the left eye of the human body. Means only 2 chapters deals under part first, relevancy of fact. Okay, here preliminary and relevancy of fact. Means part deals with section 1 to 55. Then part second talks about proof. So here section 56 to 100 deals under part second. So how to remember these 4 chapters under part 3? First, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6. Only 4 parts. Sorry, only 4 chapters deals under part 2. So chapter 3. Chapter 3, how to indicate chapter 3 here? Means from our shoulder to elbow. Shoulder to elbow part. Shoulder to elbow part shows that chapter 3. Okay, right sides, shoulder to elbow part. It shows that chapter 3. Chapter 3 deals with the section 56, 57, 58. Means only 3 sections. Chapter 3 deals with only 3 sections, 56 to 58. Means chapter 3 is the facts which need not be proved. Means always, each and every fact need not be proved. And this is the discretionary power of the court. Either the fact means allow the parties to prove the fact or not. Means if the court has knowledge about the fact, this fact does not need to prove. Means it is provided under chapter 3, section 56, 57, 58. Then chapter 4. Chapter 4, here from elbow to wrist part. From elbow to wrist part. It shows that oral evidence. Oral evidence means section 59 and 60 talks about oral evidence. Then after chapter 5, it shows that, see, shoulder to elbow part shows that documentary evidence, and this documentary evidence deals under section 61 to 90. Then here elbow to wrist part, it shows that chapter 6, and chapter 6 deals under section 91 to 100. Exclusion of oral by documentary evidences. Exclusion of oral by documentary evidences. These are the 4 chapters dealt under part 2 of the Indian Evidence Act. Chapter 50, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6. Chapter 3 deals with section 56 to 58, facts which need not be proved. Then oral evidence. Oral evidence has been dealt under section 5960. Means chapter 4 talks about oral evidence. Then writing documentary evidence. Chapter 5 talks about 61 to 90 documentary evidences. Then chapter 6 deals with 91 to 100. Exclusion of oral by documentary evidences. Exclusion of oral by documentary evidences. Then after, here part 3 of the Indian Evidence Act talks about production and effect of evidence. If there is relevant production of the evidence, there will be positive effect of this evidence. So this part 3 deals with 5 chapters. So chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9 and chapter 10 here. So chapter 7 talks about burden of proof. Burden of proof. So burden of proof deals under section 101 to 114. Burden of proof deals under section 101 to 114. Burden of proof means this part shows that from west to the knee, right knee. Okay, west to the knee part, chapter 7. Then chapter 8, from knee to the below part. To means from knee to the ankle part. It shows that istopel. Istopel. Section 115, 116, 117. Then after we are talking about chapter 9, 10 and 11. Chapter 9 talks about from the left side of the leg. Means here from west to the ankle, chapter 9. It shows that testify the witnesses, means chapter 118 to 134 talks about witnesses. Then chapter 10, from the left knee to the ankle. So it shows that section 135 to 166, examination of witnesses. And last chapter, section 167 talks about improper admission and rejection of evidence. So friend, it is very easy to remember all the scheme of the Indian Evidence Act. Means part 3 talks about chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10, chapter 11, 5. So here chapter 7 talks about burden. There is a burden. Okay, burden of proof. Then to stop it. Under section 115 to 117, chapter 9, 118 to 134 means witnesses. Then after, court may conduct the examination of the witness under chapter 10 with the section of 135 to 166, and chapter 11 talks about section 167, improper admission. If there is improper admission, so there is not allowed evidences, means rejection of evidence. So friend, how to remember, once again we are going to see next. So here, see here, per Fodex BVI, here PR, per, FODEX, Fodex, okay, FODEX, Fodex, BE, we are talking B, WE, we, and I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, this is the code word. And this code word shows the whole scheme of the act. How? P for preliminary, section 1 to 4. R for relevancy of fact, section 5 to 55. F for facts which need not be proved, under section 56, 57, 58. O for oral evidence, section 59, 60. D shows that documentary evidence, under section 61 to 19. E, exclusion of oral by documentary evidence, section 91 to 100. Okay. Then after, B for burden of proof, 101 to 114. E for estoppel, 115 to 116. E for, then W for here witnesses, W for witnesses, 118 to 134. Then E for examination of witness, under section 135 to 166. And I for improper admission and rejection of evidence. This is the scheme. Next part is Laxfori. We are talking about Laxfori, F-O-R-I, Fori. Here, Laxfori means the law of the court. In Latin, lex means law and forum means court. Here, lex means law and forum means court. And lex fori means the law of the court. Law of the court. Lex fori means law of the court. According to Lord Brougham, the law of evidence is the lex body which governs the court. Law of evidence is the lex body. Mr. Lord Brougham has stated, law of evidence is the lex body and which governs the court. It governs, it regulates the court, constitute the basis of law of evidence. Means on the basis of it constitutes the basis of law of evidence. Means lex body is the law of evidence and it governs the court on the basis of law of evidence. Then whether a witness is, means what things has been considered, what things has been testified under the lex body. It is provided by the Lord Brougham under this definition. First and foremost, Lord Brougham has stated whether a witness is competent or not, it should be verified, testify. Whether witness is competent or not. Next, whether a certain matter requires to be proved by writing or not. Means certain matter, it is required to be proved by writing or not. It should be testified. Means first and foremost, whether a witness is competent or not. Second, whether a certain matter required to be proved by writing or not. And then third, whether a certain evidence proves a certain fact or not. Whether a certain evidence proves a certain fact or not. Means friend here, whether a witness is competent or not. Means what? Means all these 3 points has been determined by the law of the country where the question arises. Where the question arises. जहां से ये क्वेश्चन रेज हो गया है, जहां उत्पन्न हो गया है, वहां का कोर्ट ये क्या करेगा, वहां का लॉ क्या करेगा, ये डिटरमाइन करेगा. जहां क्वेश्चन रेज होता है वहां का लॉ एप्लीकेबल होता है वो कोर्ट में. ओके, वेयर द रेमेडी इज साउट टू बी इन्फोर्स्ड. ओके, वहां हम क्या कर सकते हैं, रेमेडी सीख कर सकते हैं, साउट टू बी इन्फोर्स्ड, and where the court sits to enforce it, and another court may enforce this law. So ये कैसे होगा, हमने क्या बोल दिया. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. वी आर टेकिंग वन एग्जाम्पल. सपोज Radha and Shyam married in Pune. Actually, they belong to the Pune. They had married in Pune. After that, they transferred in Usmanabad. Okay, after a few days, there was some clashes between them. They are seeking remedy to take divorce. That is why they approached to the Usmanabad court. But the rules and regulation of the Usmanabad, or the law of the Usmanabad, is different. It is not like that Pune. So they are willing to wish to take divorce from Usmanabad court. Okay, so friend, question is arise in Usmanabad regarding to the divorce. Okay, divorce का क्वेश्चन कहाँ से शुरू हुआ, उस्मानाबाद आने के बाद. तो लॉ कौन सा एप्लीकेबल होगा, जो भी कुछ उस्मानाबाद का लॉ है वो एप्लीकेबल होगा. मीन्स कोर्ट कौन सी प्रोसीजर चालू करेगा, whatever these laws are existed in Usmanabad, they shall, according to that, the court shall start the procedure. Means court may follow the procedural law which is exist in Usmanabad. Okay, means okay, parties or witnesses are competent. Why? Because they are seeking the remedy. So at the time of court may follow the procedural law of Usmanabad, and then after court may investigate or make an inquiry whether the competent person has produced the relevant matter or certain matter before the court, and it should be proved by the writing or not. Then after, court may also think on the point whether a certain evidence proves a certain fact or not. Means if the witness is competent, second, matter required to be proved by writing, and the matter should be relevant. Means whatever this fact they are produced before the court, admitted before the court, all these must be a relevant, admissible, and all these fact they should be proved before the court. Means whether these relevant facts, certain fact has proved or not by the relevant parties, by the certain parties. Then after, court may determine their decision in this case. Then friend, in short, lex four means competent witness. First, we have think on the point of competent witness, whether the witnesses are competent or not. Then certain matters to be proved by writing or not. Then certain evidence proves a certain fact. Certain fact मीन्स यही ध्यान में रखो, ए लेक्स फोरी में हम कहाँ से भी आए. ओके, सपोज हमने यहाँ कुछ ऑफेंस किया है, ये इंडिया में कुछ ऑफेंस किया और हमें कहाँ पकड़ा गया, अमेरिका में पकड़ा गया, नहीं तो इंग्लैंड में पकड़ा गया. तो वहाँ की जो लॉज है, वहाँ के जो लॉज है, वहाँ की जो सब्सटेंटिव लॉज है, वहाँ की जो कुछ भी प्रोसीजरल पार्ट है, प्रोसीजरल पार्ट, तो प्रोसीजरल पार्ट कौन सा फॉलो किया जाएगा, तो अमेरिका का और इंग्लैंड का, क्योंकि जो पनिशमेंट हमें मिलने वाली है वो कहाँ की है, फॉरेन कोर्ट की है. जैसे कि कोई पाकिस्तान का आदमी आता है, वो कहाँ ऑफेंस करता है, बॉम्बे में ऑफेंस करता है, क्राइम करता है, तो प्रोसीजरल लॉ कौन सा फॉलो किया जाएगा, तो इंडियन प्रोसीजरल लॉ फॉलो किया जाएगा. अकॉर्डिंग टू द इंडियन प्रोसीजरल लॉ वी मे कंप्लीट द कोर्ट प्रोसेस. So friends, this is the lex fori. One simple example, if foreigners come before an Indian court, they cannot insist upon their law of evidence being followed. जो भी कोई फॉरेनर इंडिया में आए, उन हमारे कोर्ट को इंसिस्ट नहीं कर सकते कि जो हमारा फॉरेन लॉ है वो फॉरेन लॉ ऑफ एविडेंस है, उसको फॉलो करो. मगर इंडियन कोर्ट वैसे नहीं करेगा. इंडियन कोर्ट क्या करेगा, इंडियन एविडेंस लॉ को ही फॉलो करेगा. मीन्स द इंडियन कोर्ट्स नो ओनली द इंडियन लॉ ऑफ एविडेंस एंड फॉलो इट. द एविडेंस बीइंग अ प्रोसीजर हैज टू बी गवर्न्ड by law of the country where the proceeding are taken place. Hence, Indian Evidence Act 1872 extends to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, but not to any foreign country, as the law changes from one country to another country based on its particular circumstances, living style, social, economic, and political, etc. So, friend, today we shall stop here. Thank you.